We want to say welcome to Focus on Liberia. As soon as we get our guests situated, our guests will be coming on so we can discuss some issues regarding the first days of the Weah Presidency. Hey, Yula Board Chairman, Mr. Toto, welcome. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. As soon as we get, again, we're going to be discussing a whole range of issues. The president has made 7 trips outside the country. We see there was some criticism that the United States was absent on the president's first trip. We want to discuss that. We want to discuss what's going on with the appointments. Certain appointments have been made. We have people who have other views about those appointments, some confirmation hearings. We want to talk about that as well. And we're going to be bringing on Mr. Isaac Zawolo, who's going to be joining us live from the nation's capital. In the meantime, if you want to chime in with some thoughts, please welcome. We'll be extending you an invitation, or you can ask to be joining. Yeah. Also, please share the video. We're going to try and bring in our guest again. Let's see. We tried first. We didn't get the guest. Let's try again. And our guest, you can also request the video, and we can just bring you in. Yeah. Join us on Facebook Live. There's a Facebook Live on my page, and you're going to be extended an invitation. All right, this is our Focus on Liberia. We're going to be discussing right. So we're going to invite you again. You get my invitation. You accept that and join. And while you are coming in, I want to play your song. All right. Hey, John.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. Okay, you're back. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. Today we are discussing the first 55 days of the Weah Presidency, and there are a wide range of issues. We have who's going to be joining us very shortly will be the communication team advisor for the Coalition for Democratic Change, that Professor Isaac Zawolo. He's going to be joining us shortly. But you're on. What are your thoughts? 55 days of George Weah Presidency.
Well, yeah, like you said, there are a lot to be discussed, and but if we should itemize from the day of inauguration to now, we have to be critically objective, because 55 days less than 2 months. And I mean, if you take into consideration the hooligan that occurred before the inauguration, actually the transitional period was not adequately, exhausted. And then when we want to know how the government going to go ahead. But
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can get my guess, and I'll come right back to you.
No problem.
All right. Okay, you can go up, John, and then we can.
Okay, let me just. I will join the show later, but let me just make my point. Some of the concerns that let's look. I want to look at issues 55 days. Let's look at some of the things the president said. The government is broke. where the government going to start from. And
Right.
I think, yeah, the government is good. Where the government going to start from, getting minister, appointing minister, making sure they get their full started, and But if we look at what the government have achieved in 55 days, I think practically I will give them 80 in terms of yeah.
Good job. You gave them 8. All right. Hold that thought. I'm going to come back to you. Let
No
me
problem.
bring the guests.
No problem.
You gave them 8. I know that my guests will like that. But
Yeah. No, I have a couple of reasons to justify that, but I would like to provide that later on.
Thank you. Thank you. You can go off now. I don't want to take you off. All right. All right. The first 55 days, less than 2 months of the Weah Presidency. We're going to be bringing on our guest. Our guest is Mr. Isaac Zawolo. Isaac, I'm inviting you now to join. All right. Mr. Zawolo, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jha. Thanks for inviting me.
All right. We have a whole range of issues to discuss, and by way of introduction, Mr. Zawolo is the communication team advisor of the CDC, that's the Coalition for Democratic Change. He's the communication team advisor for the ruling party. And he's here to give us first, just summarize for us in 2 minutes the first 55 days of the Weah Presidency.
I think
we're going to open it up for questions and answers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jha. I think the first day has been extremely exciting. The last time I was on your show, you indicated that if the duck is going to swim or something, you can tell by the first steps. But the first steps that has been taken, you can be assured that the government is going to be one of the best ever government in the history of Liberia. And I say this for so many reasons. Think about how much money has been pumped right back into the Liberian economy by the ingenuity of the president. Think about some of the plans that he has for the next 100 days. Think about the engagement he has had with the international community. Think about some of the kinds of appointments he's been making. I think this government is set to take Liberia to a place that it has never been taken. We should be excited about that.
All right, thank you. That's a good intro. I had someone on who gave the government a. But let's begin by, first of all, tell us what is a pro-poor government. I've been hearing some chatters that some are saying, hey, a pro-poor government is a socialist form of government. Some are saying, well, just like Jesus said, the poor you always have, and the poor do not create wealth. So when you say a pro-poor, is it a welfare state you're trying to create? So with all that is going on, tell me in the first place, what is a pro-poor government?
I think, first of all, let me disavow the belief that pro-poor is a welfare form of government. Absolutely not. I will say this, that's just what I would say about pro-poor government. It's a series of initiatives, programs, policies, and actions geared towards bridging the middle class and the poor. It is a series of actions that address the basic needs of the poor people in society, to bring them into the body of politics, to restore their confidence in government, and encourage them to participate in government. Pro-poor government manifests itself in specific.
Okay, some technical difficulty right there.
Policies that support and promote the rule of law, a criminal justice system that is fair, and officials of government display and demonstrating their commitment to their people. These are aspects of the pro-poor government. If I would just want to summarize to give your listeners an opportunity to ask questions.
All right. So you are focusing. What is it that the poor needs that you are trying to? What are the issues of the poor that you are trying to address? And does that mean are you sacrificing what the rich want or the middle class?
Well, well, first of all, the poor need to live. For the entire history of Liberia, our country has a class system. Those who do the most work have not benefited from the exploits of society. You think about the tappers at Firestone and think about their living condition. You think about the workers at the iron ore concessions throughout the country and think about the living condition. What happened to them after they left those mines? This government wants to make sure that those things that occur to those people will not be repeated. So it's not about robbing. It's not about a Robin Hood mentality, but it's about the spreading of the wealth of the land equitably, so that every Liberian person can have an opportunity to assert themselves in society and advance themselves to the highest possible position in the land. The story of President Weah epitomizes the goal, the ultimate goal of pro-poor agenda.
All right, let's go to the appointments. I know a series of appointments have been made, and there are all confirmations going on. From those appointments, there are some that, first of all, let me start by asking you, what in those appointments that demonstrate this pro-poor mentality? Because the criticism is some of the people, because this is a coalition government, so some of the people have just been appointed because they were part of the coalition and not necessarily being qualified for those jobs that they are holding.
I don't know who determines the qualification. I think the right to appoint and the prerogative to appoint is the president. I don't know who decides on who's qualified and who's not qualified. But one thing I can assure you, the people who appointed the government are highly qualified. They were vetted properly. And I will tell you one thing, they are already doing a very good job. I think we can see from what's going on with the Ministry of Commerce. We see the level of engagement of the Inspector General. We've also heard about some violations that were uncovered at different ministries and agencies. Tell me something. If those people appointed were not qualified and competent, how would they have been able to identify those discrepancies in the financing, the budgeting, and the management of those ministries they've been appointed to? So no, I think the people are qualified. Another thing you want to take into consideration, political parties tend to appoint its members to positions. They don't win an election and go into the opposition and start taking people from there. So if anybody thought that this government was going to appoint people from outside of its reach, I'm afraid they were in the wrong.
All right. One example of those, during the confirmation, there was one deputy minister at finance who was asked to define what's a fiscal policy. And from that example, from what we saw, accordingly, the answer was Jesus.
No, that was not true. The answer wasn't Jesus. The referencing Jesus is a common thing amongst us Liberians. Here's a young woman who is highly qualified, well educated. She has a bachelor's degree from the University of Liberia and a master's degree from the People's Republic of China. The young woman it was just an expression. She's a woman with strong Christian faith. Basically, the young woman was just trying, was just in a way of, praising her God. It was a moment of excitement, and the question was taken off the table. She wasn't given the chance to answer that question. The question was taken off the table by the very person who asked the question.
Okay, I thought she remembered that Jesus said, "Call on me, and I will answer you." I thought that was the reference. I'm just trying to be funny.
No. She wasn't even given the chance to answer the question.
But I want us to run through a few things briefly before I bring on our Facebook guest. One thing about the 6,000 teachers, okay? Mm-hmm. When the president was in Nigeria, there were reports that he requested for 6,000 teachers. When he clarified, it was like a denial. When he clarified, he said, well, we were asking for technicians because the ministry said there was a gap of 6,000 teachers. What is the real story? And why does the Ministry of Education need now?
As a communication person, I went and watched the exact video of the president's presentation before the Nigerian authorities. Here was what the president said. The president indicated that there is a shortage of 6,000 teachers in Liberia, and was seeking the Nigerian government assistance to address that need. He did not specifically ask for 6,000 Nigerian teachers to come to Liberia. He did not. And the video is online. People should take the time to go and watch it and hear and listen to the interaction. I did watch it several times.
And as one of the criticism is the president's government is not yet formed completely. It's not complete yet. So it's fair to think that what the government needs or a complete assessment has not been made. So even before the president can go out and act, does he really know, has he been or advised on what is it that each ministry needs and what that cost will be? Does he have that information?
Yeah, but I think you listened to the president's last week also. The government released a little summary of the pro-poor agenda and the priorities of his government. They talk about education and training and job creation, agriculture, and the rest. The president have already engaged the ministers responsible for those key components of his plans, and they have advised him adequately. The president did not get up one morning and said there was 6,000 teacher shortage in Liberia. He did engage the Ministry of Education. And I don't even think the teachers in Liberia are disputing that we have a 6,000 teacher shortage in Liberia. So no, he has the facts. He's not going to speak unless he has the facts. He has the facts. And the president has been very clear, about the things that Liberia needs and the direction he's moving this country.
The president of the National Teachers Association came out to say that they never requested 6,000 teachers. Yeah, when they spoke with the president, that did not even come up.
But the president of the National Teachers Association should understand that that's not his responsibility. He's trying to ascribe to himself too much power. That's not his responsibility. He shouldn't be deciding how many teachers the country needs. That's the responsibility of the Ministry of Education. He doesn't know how many teachers Liberia needs. The president of the National Teachers Association doesn't even have jurisdiction over teachers in the private for the private schools. How will he even know the needs of the teachers in the or the private schools and the rest of it? How does he understand those things?
The president made his initial trips, France, Morocco, Ethiopia, and other places. America was not on the list, and he was being criticized for that. When is the president coming to America? And why was America not part of his first country that he visited?
Let me ask this question. When Liberia gained its independence, was the United States of America one of the first countries, was it the first country that recognized our independence?
No, that was a year later.
Year later. So maybe the president will visit him a year later. Would that be bad?
Is that the official position of the?
No. I said maybe. No. I said maybe. No. Yes. No. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Let's take it serious. Let's be serious. Look, the president has a plan, and other foreign countries, foreign leaders also have a plan. The president will visit the United States as soon as a condition exists for him to make that visit. But let me be very clear. The United States government has reaffirmed its commitment to Liberia's development to this government, and this government and the government of the United States have been engaged in discussing series of programs and plans for Liberia. So Liberia continues to respect the United States, and our relationship with the United States is even stronger than it's ever been.
If you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. We are discussing the first 55 days of President George Weah. Our guest right here is Mr. Isaac C. Lakpo Zawolo. He's the advisor to the communication team of the ruling party. Mr. Zawolo, right now, the president, there are some projects that are before the president. He indicated that he wants to build a veteran hospital. He started a cleanup campaign, cleaning up, through this. The Monrovia City Mayor cleaning up on every Saturday. There are also some road projects that have been started. It still begs the question to how much analysis have been done before the president is starting these things. For instance, the cleanup. Every Saturday, businesses are closed and we are cleaning up. Other presidents before him have done the same thing. Is there a strategy?
Yeah, there's a strategy. The last president didn't have a first lady to help work on this project. This president has a first lady who has been actively engaged in those kind of activities. So there is a plan, there is a program. Proper assessment was done. The president is responding to the request of Liberian citizens while he was even a senator. Many people requested about the cleanliness of the city. I was in Liberia in November. Look and see where we sell our food at some of the market areas, and you definitely know the city needs a facelift.
But Isaac, one thing that we do a poor job is doing a complete policy analysis before coming up with these things. For us to come and say, okay, what are the issues? What are the options? And which option will give us the best result? That's the problem. That's the place we always miss the mark.
But have we missed the mark this time? I don't think we've missed the mark yet. And I'm assuring you that we will not miss the mark. We'll do the right thing. We'll clean the city. We'll make the city to be decent for people to live and thrive and do their business in. So I don't think we've missed the mark yet. So you cannot be already accusing us of what others may have done or may not have done. We haven't missed the mark, and we're not missed the mark. This is a people's government, and this government is going to succeed. Look, this is the first government this is the only government in Israel, Liberia, that brought into the country $37 million, on average $1.7 million a day over a 30 days period. Not loan, grant, budgetary support. This is the first government that comes into power and says, look, too many of your people are dying on the Rawatsi Highway. So guess what? We address that problem. This is the first government that has come to power and done several things. It placed $2.2 million back into the Liberian economy. $2.2 million back into the Liberian economy by refunding Liberian parents the $60 they pay for the WAEC fee. Besides, this is a government that has gone on record to put also approximately $2.2 million back into the economy every month. That is going to take you up to what? About $24 million extra he's putting back into the economy by the reduction in the price of rice. So this government is on a sound footing. The fundamentals are strong. This government is set to succeed, and I think Liberians should be proud of it.
Here when the president took office, we had the issues of Liberians being stranded in Libya and other Arab countries that needed to go back. We also have the issue of the DED, or the deferred deportation, being expiring, I think, the end of this month or next month. What is the government of Liberia doing about, extending DED, or doing what they can do? Or even if Liberians are deported right now, is the government prepared and willing to receive them? And also, what is the government doing about Liberians stranded in Libya and other Arab countries under horrendous conditions?
The foreign minister and his team have been hearing and listening to requests about Liberians stranded in many countries of the world. The foreign ministry, within the confines of the resources available to it, is working up procedures and means by which those Liberians can receive assistance and, if possible, be brought back home. It will require time, and we all have to understand our government inherited an empty coffers. But we are working on it, and the welfare of every Liberian remains important to the president of Liberia. Now, when it comes to DED, we want to say our government is engaged with the government of the United States at different levels. We know that Liberia right now would not be prepared to host a huge influx of Liberians who will be deported from the United States. So, but here's the deal. We will say this. The decision is the United States. We cannot make that decision for them, but we will continue to work behind the scenes to ensure that no Liberian is deported come March 31st.
Let's talk about, and talking about these coffers being empty, you mentioned, we have a national census you have taken place this year, 2018, because census every 10 years. We also have by-elections. Those events or those things have been postponed because we have no money. What's the plan?
The plan is for you to tell all these people on Facebook who criticize this government to rally and raise approximately $10 million as a share, the Liberian government share, to be able to host the census, and $3.9 million to be able to conduct the by-elections. Look, we are in serious and challenging economic times. Some of the problems we face as a country and the people were not necessarily created by the former government. These were created by objective circumstances. The downturn in the interest in our major exports and the situation brought on us by the Ebola crisis. Now, we are seeing some uptick in economic activities in Liberia. There's a report that ArcelorMittal has increased its activities. So the times are going to change. But for now, we are in an extremely challenging time, and the government will make the appropriate and the best decision possible to move our country. If the resources are not there, we cannot, do certain things. How be it that we really want to do
it? One issue that the president has inherited is the TRC report that has been lying there. It was never implemented. Now, with the coming to power of the pro-poor government, many are calling for President Weah to implement the TRC recommendation. Where does the government stand on the TRC?
First of all, it's mythical to think that the TRC report was not implemented. Aspects of the TRC report was not implemented, aspects of it. So what this government will have to do is to sit down and review the implementation of the TRC report, evaluate and see what needs to be done to ensure that the other aspects are not, to ensure that the other aspects are implemented. This is not going to be an event. It will be a marathon. It will require time. You're talking about persecuting, and I know that's what people are talking about, persecuting people for alleged atrocities committed. It will require evidence. It will require the proper training of the people who will be, persecuting those people. So this government is on track to making sure that whatever it falls within its realms to do, that it will do it.
So when the president in his State of the Union, he talked about the Negro clause. He talked about land ownership. And then there is pressure from those in the diaspora for dual citizenship. When the president says something during State of the Union, we are expecting now for him to use this bullet pulpit to promote that or to sell the idea throughout the rest of the country. Nothing has been heard from the president regarding the dual citizenship, the Negro clause, or land ownership in Liberia since his inaugural. What's going on?
Well, you will not hear from the president. I think the people you actually will be hearing from will be the legislature. I think the legislature already started to take some actions in those directions. I don't have the details, but I know I did read some documents where the legislature were already taking actions on some of those things. So indeed, those things are being considered seriously. They are behind the scene discussions concerning that. Let me very clarify here also, whilst I'm on it, that look, the issue about asking Liberians abroad to raise 10 million was a joke. I mean, you guys will not be able to make it to raise $10 million to send home. So don't take that too seriously.
All right. President Weah will learn demolish his mansion.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
To build a bigger mansion.
So, I mean, there's a pro-poor government. Couldn't he find some poor people living in that and build another house?
Well, he could build another one that will host the very poor people who live in the other one he broke, right? A bigger one.
Money is going to waste.
Well, it's his money, right? Who decides on how you spend your money?
I decide.
That's fine. So, and President Weah decides on how he spends his own money.
And accordingly, the VP2 is breaking down her house to build a bigger one.
Well, wonderful. Good news. Liberia is rising. You're getting development. You know, each of them who build their homes will hire people to build those homes, right? Money will be going back into the economy. I think that those are great news. I mean, I'll also be building my home shortly also.
Yes, the criticism was you can leave that and build a new one, and then that could be used for something. But
who makes that determination for them? Who makes that determination for them? Who makes that determination? Who made these people managers of people's lives?
Okay, let move past that. The vice president, I know I read on the news that she had problems visiting the United States. What is the
Yeah.
truth to that story?
The vice president will be in the, I think the vice president, if she's not here, but she will be in the United States. She did get her visa to visit the United States. She was not denied visa. The vice president, the United States embassy was going through some procedural activity regarding her visa. And once those procedures were concluded, they did issue her a visa. She was never denied visa. There were some procedures based dynamics that was not really understood by the press, and people ran away with it. No, she was not denied visa. She will be attending the conference.
Rape cases are on the rise, have been reported. You know, we have two women's group in the United States. That's the Alliance of Liberian Women International, and also the Diaspora Women that just met in Washington, D.C. And one of the things that they are strongly working on is to educate and highlight the plight of Liberian young women and men that have been raped. Is the president aware of these things happening, because it's becoming an epidemic?
The president is
the
president is fully aware of it. And for me personally, when you talk about rape, it touches my heart, because right now I have a situation that is personal, that connects with my family. And this government is going to do all it can to ensure that people who commit such grievous atrocities, grievous acts, will be brought to justice. What we want to do is encourage family members to stop attempting to resolve these kind of acts within the family. These are crimes. You need to report it as soon as possible so that the evidence is not compromised. Whenever the evidence is compromised, it makes it so hard to prosecute these kind of cases, and these rapists or alleged rapists go free. But this government will not tolerate it. Shortly, the government will be considering rape laws in Liberia and seeing how we can even tighten it.
All right. Now we're going to be going to our Facebook. Shortly, I see some questions are popping up. One of the questions from Mr. I think the first question came from, okay, Robert Gibson said, why didn't Mr. President declare his asset before embarking upon the reconstruction of his home? Asset declaration by Mr. Weah.
Is that did he violate any Liberian law?
Well, we're not talking, let not go, or let not become too legalistic. We just want to know, did he declare assets? So yes or no?
He declared assets before he ran for the presidency. And when it comes to declaration of assets for government with futures, it will be done at the appropriate time.
How soon do we expect that?
Very soon.
Dave just said the president's first contacts were with the Lebanese business community, followed by foreign trips. Does the president have confidence in the Liberian people's ability to solve their own problems? That's from Dave.
Yeah, Mr. Jha, yes, he has. The Lebanese, the reason he met with the Lebanese, they have a little advantage when it comes to rice, the trading of rice in the country, which is our staple food. That was the reason why the president engaged. And when it comes to making foreign trips, you know, our country is in a very difficult situation. Every foreign trip the president makes is intended to bring money back to the country and attract investments to the country. So he has full confidence in the Liberians' ability to resolve their own problems.
Gako Moese, you made an overstatement when you said the Liberian coffers is empty. He said the ex-president said she left 150 million in the coffers. President Salif said that. That's a Gako Moese.
Yeah, so overstatement. Can 150 million complete the budget year, half of the budget year? The budget was about $500,000, correct? Approximately 500 million. You left $150 million for the remaining 6 months. So do the math.
Felicia Don Kuruman said, please ask if the government is going to make the port free port again. I'm not too clear about with the free port. Is it not free port now? I'm not clear on that.
Actually again.
All right. Rhoda Yeah. Robert Gibson said this government does not have a fixed agenda. Robert, please clarify so that our guests can answer when you say doesn't have a fixed agenda. What do you mean?
But the government will not have a fixed agenda. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so what's the agenda of the government? Maybe for something for take home.
The president we have a pro-poor agenda, and we articulated clearly today again, as we have done repeatedly, what pro-poor agenda entails. It is an synergistic operation of the middle class with the poor, where the poor build trust in government and the middle class see themselves as partner of the poor. It is manifested in schools that work, where everyone can attend those same schools. It is manifested in hospitals that heal and cure people. It is manifested in good roads, equal justice before the law. That's the clear agenda of his government. Taking the government back to the people, restoring the confidence of the people in government. That's the clear agenda. Because when we do so, we restore confidence in the economy, we restore confidence of the people in government, they will spend their money and the economy will grow, and the lifespan of Liberian will increase, and you see all those things happening.
Francis Doe is asking, what is the government doing to improve the school system?
Well, the president went out to ask for technicians. That's one. Two, the president and the Ministry of Education are working on things, and you'll be hearing about those things very soon. Look, the schools, I'll tell you one thing. Let me give you one information here that most of the people who criticize in this very new government will take into consideration. In 1972, the number of students attending the Monrovia Consolidated School System was 22,000. When President Salih was leaving office, the number of students attending the Monrovia Consolidated School was around 21,000. So over 40 years, the number of students attending Monrovia Consolidated School did not increase, even though the population of Monrovia quadrupled. Why did it happen? People lost confidence in public school. Look, within the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see a reversal of those things. You're going to see more and more people attending Monrovia Consolidated schools. You're going to see more and more Liberian children and parents returning their children to government schools, because we improve the conditions at those schools. We make those schools to work. We have the plans, and we'll deliver on that.
When I sent out, when Focus on Liberia sent out the ad that we were bringing you on as more or less a government mouthpiece, there was criticism that why didn't we bring on the opposition? Let's talk about the opposition for a moment. Anytime for a government to be strong, you need a strong opposition. Do you have one? If you do, why not?
I don't think we need a strong opposition. Look, the Liberian people overwhelmingly voted those people out. The 61%. They had no agenda. They had no program. The people understood and knew them. They represented a small sector of the population. Look, no government necessarily needs a strong opposition to be successful. What the government needs are programs and plans and actions to deliver. Once the government has those programs, plans, and actions they are delivering, I mean, you don't need an opposition. Now, I'm not saying that there should not be one, but we don't necessarily have to have one to be successful. Now, but we don't stop them from operating. I will encourage them to come. But here's the thing. It's going to be hard for them to come back, because most of those political parties in Liberia were built on the agenda of one individual becoming president. Once that president did not get their way through, they reached 67 years of age, they know they're not going to be voted anymore. They are done. Mr. Jai, I told you I was going to be here very short, so I think I'll take 2 more questions, please.
All right. So let's open. We're still having people from online. Let's see. We have a few questions here. Now, healthcare. Last week we had our guests discussing healthcare and mental health. There's a question here. Say, what is the president doing about healthcare? I know he made a tour to JFK. Again, that's not a strategy.
Yeah.
What is the president's strategy?
He's going to build a military. He's building a military hospital. That one of the strategies to address the issue of healthcare. Look, there will be a robust.
The issue is not the lack of hospital. We have JFK that is poorly equipped.
No, you cannot say that.
A hospital that is not going to be equipped doesn't solve the problem.
How do you know it's not going to be equipped? But you cannot say the issue here in Liberia is not the lack of hospitals. First of all, I just listened to Senator Reed saying there's a country with about 200 doctors over 4.5 million people.
Yeah,
that's an issue. the number of healthcare centers is inadequate when you take into the population. I mean, there are people in the health sector. I understand that you have to equip the existing ones, but it doesn't also eliminate the possibility of building additional one and fully equipping all of them. So that's what the president is going to do. Look, we're going to build. I don't want to, the president himself is going to come up with that, but we're going to have healthcare centers all over the country that will meet international standards.
All right. You already clarified, and Stephanie was asking, he said, did Mr. Zawolo just ask for Liberians in the diaspora to raise $10 million? Please let him repeat that. And so for the record, please clarify. I know
No,
you said
because my sister Stephanie, I'm not going to be direct with it. The Liberian people in the diaspora will not raise $10 million. If that's what we're hanging on, the people, they will die.
What about the rate? You know, the economy is everything is the economy. The rate of US dollar and the inflation and all that. What is the strategy again?
And I'm sorry, this will be the last question because I have, like I told you, But I'll tell you about the rate. The rate is alarming. But this is something that all Liberians will have to take into consideration. When you import pepper, beta ball, edos, cassava, things that you will easily grow locally, obviously you have to use hard currency to buy those things. So the money is flowing out of the country. And when you have when the money flows out of the country at that rate that is flowing and not coming back in the same way, it's difficult to have a reasonable rate. And so we all Liberians will have to strategize and see how we can invest in agriculture. And that's one of the pillars of this government, agriculture. We're going to invest in agriculture and see how we can reverse those kind of things. Mr. Jad, as indicated to you, I mean, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And our guests have less time. We have some issues from the start, but we're going to continue on the discussion. I see there are some, let's start. Let me get you back, John. So thank you so much, Isaac, for coming. Anytime we hear something, please stop by and clarify.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you. God bless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Focus on Liberia. We've been discussing the first 55 days of the Weah Presidency, and our guest has been Mr. Isaac Zawolo. He's the team advisor. He's the advisor to the communication team. Before Isaac came here, I had my man John Bondo. John, the place is a little dark, so let's get light, and so we can get your perspective. You heard from Mr. Zawolo. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, he has said a lot, but relative to my initial statement that with the 55 days, I gave the government A because when you look at, like you talk about the structure of the government, one of the things in the past, I'm not saying that from the diaspora or people like if you got people from the diaspora coming into Liberia and employing these people, you're going to pay them something equivalent to what they were making. And one of the things the government did from the onset was to recruit a lot of the cabinet ministers from within Liberia, and that have reduced some level of government funding, and when it comes to special or expert and all this kind of thing, credential wise. So I think that's one of the things we need to do. Another thing again is the issue about adjusting yourself to the current reality. What's the current reality? The current reality is that somebody talk about the government having the initial government talk about 150 million that the past government left. That is not true. The central bank make that clarity, and the state president's statement of 50 to 60 million was actually the actual story. The person has to clarify that from the central bank. Because the central bank was summoned by the legislature, and that clarity was made. Another thing is the issue about pro-poor agenda. My understanding of pro-poor agenda is poor people driven. Now, if we look at our population in Liberia, the population is gravitated towards the poor people. If you look at from statistics, I don't want to say that off my head, but 80% of the people are living below standard. So if you're going to develop any policy, it's going to take it towards these people. So I think the whole idea of the government. Let's look, for example, the commerce ministry. He talked about that. I'm not going to talk about that much. But right. Yeah, they are doing their best, making sure right. that you can organize inspections, you can formulate plans. The issue of rate is not going to be institutional. It's going to take a time because like for example, we're using the US dollar to purchase items from overseas, and from overseas, you need US dollars to exchange, and the business people need the US dollars. So the government is working on policies.
Thank you, John. We got a whole list of people coming.
Yeah, okay, let me just summarize. Right. So like we said, I'm a health expert, and I work in Liberia health sector for a long time. And there are a lot of things that are listing, and even when I listen to the information ministry briefing, they said a lot. Let us all be more constructive and more analytical. I'm not going to do it because you have a long list, but what I'm saying is that the government is on the right track, and the government has an A until it can prove that the A can be reduced by evaluations.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me bring on, thank you, John. Let me bring on my producer, Mrs. Yacendi Martin Peye, to give her perspective. Madam Peye, welcome to Focus on Liberia. We're not hearing you. We are not hearing you. No, we're still not hearing you. Please call back. Let's welcome Gaga Moa. I think you raised the issue of the 150 million. Gaga, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
How you doing, Jai? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to Professor Isaac and Zawolo. Zawolo is a communist from the from Russia. So the pro-poor agenda, they're not articulating that quite well. We don't understand why would somebody say you pro-poor, but then you building another mansion. You know, it's just not clicking. So I think we need to articulate that agenda well to the Liberian people, because you cannot be pro-poor and then your salary $200,000, and then other people making, you know, $50 a month. It doesn't make sense. So we need to understand this pro-poor agenda. It's not clearly stated. It wasn't stated during the campaign, and right now they're explaining that instead of George Weah and his administration. For the record, Asa Zawolo is not a representative of George Weah government, correct?
No, he's the communication team advisor to the ruling party.
Okay, but he's not in the government.
Well, that's his title. I don't.
Okay. Yeah, because this is not campaign. I mean, this is all about Liberia. We need to take things serious. We cannot be defending George Weah when he's making error in our country. We need to take serious. We need to answer these questions clearly to the Liberian people, because many seditionists are still running campaign. And when we're talking about pro-poor agenda, they need to explain that quite well to the Liberian people. It's 55 days, and this guy does not seem to have everything intact. He doesn't understand what he's doing in Liberia, and we all know that. So they cannot keep telling us about this, or it's coming, or he got planned. This guy been running for office for over 12 years. So the plan should have already been in place. His skeleton government should have already been in place. But now we're going almost into 2 months, he's still appointing people. So I don't know, how do you see that, Ja? Do you think this is someone who we can trust with our country for the next, 12 years?
And that's why I'm bringing everyone together so we can discuss that. But thank you very much. You also mentioned that Isaac is a communist, and so
yeah, you're a communist. He told me he ran for ULA president. He told me he was a communist.
No, but that was not stated here. So I hope he has time to come and defend himself. But thank you so much, Gagan, for your contribution.
Thank you.
All right. All right. We want to welcome another guest who want to give their perspective. Or let's try and bring in Veronica. We are having some trouble there. Okay, we're connecting. Ms. Veronica, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. Jal. Let me take this time to say thank you to Focus of Liberia staff for putting this unique information out for Liberia. Where I just want to agree with the previous speaker, John. I get a current administration A. And secondly, I want to disagree with the one that the speaker I just left. It's not possible for everything to be in place in 55 days. So for people thinking that George Weah's administration will put everything into place for 55 days is not true. I also want to agree with him that campaign time is over. Therefore, nobody is campaigning to say, we say the worst thing about a particular government, other people will not vote for that government or that party. Therefore, I want to agree with John. I get a quorum administration, the CDC government are getting A because they are doing well in 55 days. Besides, he needs to take time with his appointment. He cannot just go appoint whosoever. He needs to consult people before he does an appointment. So 55 days or 2 months, he has not completed an appointment, does not show any way that we cannot trust him with our country for the next 6 years. Yes, indeed, he's the person we will trust, or the person we trust with our country for the next 6 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your perspective. Let's see who's next. Let's go back to, let me go back to our producer, Mrs. Yasendi Martin. We have some technical issues.
Hey, G.
Right, welcome to Focus on Liberia. I know you are traveling and you are not able to be in studio.
First of all, let me say hello to everyone. This is Yasendi Martin Pay. I like to call my full name because everything is in the name. And I like to say thank you to everyone that coming over here to voice out their opinion or their thought process, however they look at it, whether they believe it or not. But let me say this to Isaac, okay? For us to build a sustainable community that is based on moral and a uniform belief, we all have to be realistic and in tune with what we're saying. If we are telling, if George Weah, to begin with, the Weah's last name that were just appointed, they call them consultant, that we're paying them $4,000 and $5,000 a month. Whereas we have teachers and civil service workers that have not gotten paid for months. Okay, you're also telling us that this government did not leave enough money in the coffers. But in less than a month, we've traveled, I don't know how many other places, and spent over $600,000, $300,000 on repairs or furniture for a building that assignment was given to Lebanese people. Now, he's tearing his houses down, not just one house, houses down, and giving the contract to Lebanese people to build it, okay? And for Isaac to sit on here and make the remark that if they ask the Liberian, the diaspora, to make $10 million or contribution, it's unrealistic and it's ungrateful.
He said he was kidding.
Yeah, but he said when Stephanie asked him to confirm, he said he will not ask the people in the diaspora $10 million that no, they can't do it. We contribute over $350 million a year. That's almost neck to neck of the country total overall revenue. We're paying and doing as our civic duty. Okay. Yes, if the president reached out, I'm sure a lot of people in the diaspora will make the contribution. But the thing is, you cannot talk to us that we're illiterate, that we are not part of the process, that this is not our country also. A president is not a king. He is not a gospel, all right? A president is someone that the people hire to do a job for the country, okay? And this has to do with your population being educated, understanding the roles and responsibility. And I keep preaching this. So long Liberians do not understand what their rights are under the law, people will take them for a ride. And this is what is happening. How can you run a campaign with no agenda? Yes, it is a law for whoever running in the government to declare their asset. It is. It is a law.
So he did that. As I said,
he did that when? He did that when? No, he did not. He did that I think when he was running to be a senator, where he had $2.7 million as an asset. Okay? That's a few years, almost 4 years ago. All right? Now he's the president. My thing is, this man at one point, according to them, he worth $80 million. He did not tear down his house. Tearing down his house should not be a priority. We have a mansion, okay? It should not be a priority. And we see an email going back and forth between his people stating, okay, it is the country job to make sure the president is secure. We get that. But is that a priority at this point when our people are dying, when our daughters and sons are being raped in the street, when 85% of your population, this is the new statistic, live off of less than $1.50 a day, but you are giving listen.
So what's your suggestion for the or what are you saying?
What I'm saying is the president needs to be forthcoming. Okay, he and the whole team need to be forthcoming. Number one, we need a clear agenda that states this is not a socialist community. We are not socialists. Okay, we need to have a clear agenda. He needs to give us a roadmap. In other words, we say a schematics, okay, as to how this government is going to function. All right? Okay. Taking $500,000 to give to your wife, who is not even a Liberian resident. Number one, all of these things are illegal. We have no respect for the rule of law. And sit there and tell us that you will march us with Lebanese people and Indian people to vote on the scene. No, it's not going to happen. I can tell you that.
All right. Thank you, Madam Producer.
Don't just say thank you, and Dennis. We need to have a better conversation. We need to create a platform that Isaac is on that platform, that we will invite other Liberians who have an opinion to be a part of that. This is today. That's fine, but I'm just saying. We will create a space where other people will have their opinion.
Right. I want to bring in more people to have their opinion.
Go ahead. I'm fine. I just need to throw light on how much we contribute, $350 million, so we can contribute $10 million. So he needs to know that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nonsense.
Okay, let's go to our next guest. That's Robert. If you just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. We are discussing the first 55 days of the Weah Presidency. And we had our guest, Mr. Isaac Zawolo, who left now. Welcome, Robert Gibson, on Focus on Liberia. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Connecticut.
All right. Welcome. Your thoughts?
Thank you for inviting me on your platform. I would like to bring the Mr. Zawolo. I would like to bring him to book because I think he was not fair. He was not fair to the law of Liberia. He erred. All right. He said the president did not violate any law. He violated the law. I think Mr. Zawolo, he said, he don't understand the law. All right. Okay. The code of conduct of the Republic of Liberia states that. All right. That's Part X, Section 10.1. All public officials should declare their assets before taking office. And in the case of any elevation or transfer to another position, they should also declare their assets before taking that position that they be elevated to or transferred to. And third, before leaving office, you should also declare your asset so that we know what you inherited and if there's any issue where you're going with, so that there will be a check and balance system so that we know whether you are corrupt or not. That's why the code of conduct said, and that's why I quoted the section and the article that specify that. So it's so sad for Mr. Zawolo to sit over there talking about the president did not violate. He violated. If that president means business for his pro agenda that he preaching all over the place, right after his inauguration, if he's really in the interest of Liberia and the people, the next day he will declare his asset and tell the world what he owns and what he doesn't have. People will know. And there we will have no problem with him. And the same will be done with all of his officials that he be appointed. All his appointees will follow the same thing. But he violated the law. He violated the code of conduct. So he and his official, they have all violated the law. Let Mr. Zawolo take note on that. He erred.
Mr. Zawolo,
All right.
Mr. Zawolo, if you are listening,
Let him go and read the code of conduct. I repeat, Mr. Zawolo, go and read the code of conduct. Part X, section 10.1. Go and read it. You know that the president, he violated the law. That's lawlessness. Then two.
Thank you so much.
Let me say. Then he's talking about the reconstruction of his home. All right. How do we know whether it is his own money or not? If he's going to declare his asset, we know, but he didn't do it. Then, with respect to corrupt official, he got those same corrupt officials in the past regime that the CDC they criticized to the left, or they criticized that government for the past 12 years, and you got those same officials being maintained, and you hear saying now solid grading such a government a government before coming to power, the party escaped the national debate. And the debate, let this platform know, the debate is also part of the democratic process. The democratic process is not only limited to marking ballot paper and dropping it in there for whosoever candidate. The debate is part of the democratic process. That is a party that called themselves Coalition for Democratic Change. And they shy away from the democratic, they escape the democratic process, which was the debate, and they talk about bringing democratic change. What kind of change are these people bringing? And you dare bring in A? This government does no A. You're supposed to showcase your platform with it. They did not submit their agenda to people. No agenda, they had agenda. Yeah. You see, I'm sorry that.
Hold on, I want to emphasize something you just said. For the violating the code of conduct, I hope Mr. Isaac Zawolo is taking note. Now, but when it comes to the debate, that was the place that the Liberian people are supposed to assess who they want to vote for.
Of course.
So by the Liberian people voting for him without a debate, that makes it a non-issue. Is that fair?
Yes. In fact, he robbed the people. He democratically robbed the Liberian people. He was not fair to them.
They didn't care for debate, and they voted for him without debate. So that
it was a pick in a bad thing. They voted for him. We're all telling them, and now this is what we see. But this is the issue. Even if the people voted for you with all you presenting a platform to the debate or showcasing your platform, all right. But your name, your party name, you claiming you're bringing democratic change. That means all of the ills are in the past government, the past regime. You come to change it democratically, but instead you are doing even worse than what you come to change. You hiding from the people. It means that you have nothing to offer. That's why you run away. They're calling you to come tell us what you're going to do, and you say no. You don't have anything. And this is what we're seeing, that the government have no fixed agenda. They don't have. If they have, we're going to see it. You see?
Thank you. Thank you.
They don't have. You're welcome. And look at the budget. Look at the budget, the current budget. Yeah, let me get one more point. Look at the current budget. Look at the salary. The current salary for the entire government is being increased. Instead of them talking about bringing it down, it's being increased. The amount allotted for salary in that budget is increased. Then you say pro. It's increased. Check it.
They increase it.
Yeah. They increase it. Instead of them cutting it down to bring it down so that the poor people, there will be a lot of deliverables that will be offered to the poor people. The poor people will benefit from projects and their basic social services and things. Instead, the budget for salary payment is increased. So it means all the minister, government officials, they're going to benefit from huge salary. And where will the poor people be? You say poor, and some people here salary grading such a government A. It's so sad, man.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's their opinion. That's their point of view. It is their opinion. So, but I know the government cannot be created A. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Let's bring in another guest. That will be Francis Doe. Francis Doe, tell us where you're calling from and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Okay, we are bringing in Francis. Francis, we having little difficulty connecting. All right. Now we got you. Welcome, Francis. Where are you calling from? Francis, are you hearing me? Having some tough time there. Let's get our man. No, the name is too long. Let's see who we can bring in next. Welcome, sir. Where are you calling from?
Are you getting me?
Come again. Your connection is not clear.
Oh, I'm calling from Fargo, North Dakota.
Welcome, brother. Your name?
My name is Libra C.
Libra say welcome. Your thoughts?
Yes, actually, for Mr. Weah administration for the 55 days, he been trying actually, but there are some lapses that have been going on. But for me, there are some stuff that he been doing that actually I don't like. Like he's not really exact in doing his stuff. Like he talking about changes. Changes don't just come down, The way we, the Liberian, we expecting things, we have high expectation for Mr. Weah, to change Liberia within a twinkle of an eye. It doesn't work that way, and he himself, like, he's not really being focused. Like, if Mr. Weah is hearing my voice tonight, let him be very specific. He's doing everything he wants to do. Like, you cannot say you are a president he wants to, like, carry on or three development at the same time. He need to be focused. He need to have a set agenda.
Take it small.
Yes, and take it small. You just said it, because the George want to do this one, he want to do this one, he want to do this one, he want to do this one. It's impossible. If he try doing that, he will mess up. He is going to mess up his administration. He need to be exact. If he said 2018, I'm going to work, and straighten the issue of our health system in Liberia, let him be very exact on that. But you cannot say you work on health system, you want to work on rule, you want to do this one, you want to work on education, like he's confusing himself. His administration
That's a good point.
Yeah, his administration is not really set up. It's not really set up. He's very, very confused. He's not actually, trying to put up a real agenda for really Liberian people. He need to be exact. He should forget about what people say about his administration and focus. If you say this year he want to straighten the education system of Liberia, let him go ahead and do it. But the way he has started being confused in his administration, want to do this, and there's no result.
Maybe that's the learning curve. Yes. Time to learn.
Yes. So if he does that, actually he's going to be complicating himself. He's going to yeah. And my second issue before I take a leave, my second issue, George Weah should not try to exempt America in his administration. Saying take over state power, he have not yet visited America. We don't know what is the relationship between Liberia and America. America is a breadwinner of Liberia. George Weah should actually come to America and do things right with the American government.
I mean, you can see Trump, the way that man looking at him.
It doesn't matter. Trump is just trying to restrict people that live in his country to behave themselves. George Liberia is a nation by its own. George Weah should take.
Your points are well taken. Thank you so much, sir. Let me bring you other
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Again, this is focused on Liberia. Let's bring in Francis Doe. Let's try again. Francis, we're trying to bring on Francis Doe, and We have 15 more minutes before we bring down the curtains. We're discussing the first 55 days of the Weah Presidency. Before you, our guest was Mr. Zawolo. He's the communication team advisor to the Coalition for Democratic Change, but he left due to a busy schedule. Let's bring in Mr. Anthony Sear. Yeah, some we may be having some technical issue with. Okay, Mr. Sear, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, my brother, and I appreciate you welcoming me. And thanks for the very good conversation.
Thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Minnesota. Yeah, I will be very brief, because I think you say you have 15 minutes left. The first thing I want to talk about is Mr. Zawolo. Mr. Zawolo said he's a vassal to the president communication team. I don't know. I don't think he wants to lie on himself, but he got to be honest to himself.
Okay.
Because I have not heard about his appointment. Is he just being a volunteer? Maybe he's volunteering. And there are a lot of things that he tried to defend that he really cannot defend. The other issue I want to talk about is people grading the government A on appointment and what they done so far. The government does not deserve even C, because the CDC won as a political institution in collaboration with two other political parties, from what I learned.
Right.
If the political party wins an election, they need to have a transitional team. I believe I heard about a transitional team. But when the appointment started, we got to know in no time that the appointments were being handled by one person called Yamande Pearson, who was just appointing people randomly without a committee being set up. That's how the appointments have been. And when people crowd foul, Yamande will kick on the curbside, and then somebody else came in. This is not how you want to form a government. Somebody also talked about, I giving the government, the president A, because they're not bringing more people from the USA, because the people from the USA, they are expensive. Because if you take somebody from the US, that person, you have to pay them either a little more or equivalent to what they were making. I tell you, my brother, I'm sure you know this. People in Liberia who are government officials may, if not 10 to 15 times more than what we may here. So that statement is not true. From what I've heard, some ministers make about $15,000 a month. Who's a Liberian here making $15,000 a month working? Not one that I know. So that statement is not true. What the people in the US, if the president deemed it necessary to incorporate them in the government, is the issue of work ethics. I worked in Liberia before as a teacher, so I know what I'm talking. Because people are not paid anything that will give them a decent living, people don't pay attention to their work. But here, when we go to work, when you're working for 8 hours, you put in your time. And that's why we need to carry to Liberia to blend with what our brothers and sisters have there, to produce a government that will be responsive to our people. And, so their government got a long way to go. They need to do it right, and I hope they're going to get it right. The agenda thing they're talking about, the salary has been increased. When you look at the budget, the vice president, the money that being allotted to the vice president is almost more than what being allotted for rural education. What being allotted to the first lady is the same amount they allotted to JFK. That's the nation #1 hospital. You allotted $500,000 for the first lady, and then the same $500,000 for JFK. I tell you, if the president gets sick, he will not go to JFK. He will not. He will go somewhere.
They don't go there.
There are many people that go to JFK. The first lady is just one person. But to JFK, you have millions or maybe thousands of poor Liberians going over there. And then you just allot 500,000. It doesn't align with your proper agenda. Thank you very much for the opportunity to participate.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. Mr. Sia. All right, let's see. We're drawing down the curtains. Let me bring in. If you're just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. Let's talk briefly to Sekou. And please be brief, or we'll be getting off here by 8 o'clock. We started like 6:30, so 1 hour, 30 minutes. So, Sekou, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Where are you calling from?
Thank you, my brother, for inviting me on your program. I'm calling from Pennsylvania, beside Philadelphia.
How Philly, man?
Oh, thank God. The place is cool and calm. I just the cool.
Right. What's your contribution?
Yeah, my brother. I've listened to all the callers on your program. Some of them, make that point, and we respect that view. But to be true, to we Liberians, and nobody will bail our country because we Liberians have to put our knee down.
Yep.
Work with the government to bail our country. We need to work with the government to bail our country, right?
Yeah.
Okay. One other lady called on the show, because it took a long time before you called me. She talking about Karen Weah. She is now a citizen. The president wife, she is now a citizen. She making that type of money. We Liberians, we only talk on flying issues, but we don't talk on the fact. Where in the world you will see a government will take an office in 55 days, you see miracle to happen. The government have to go outside and rub it around donors, countries, friends around for a help, especially in Africa. Getting it, especially in Africa. Okay.
Right.
People coming up.
What they are talking about, they are not saying that the miracle should happen. They are talking about the plans and the things that are happening. They are not showing, the pro-poor agenda. For instance, they talk about budget and they talk about, salaries and all that. That's their point.
Fam. They talking about the salary and budget. All this information that coming are called, flying issues.
Okay.
Nobody have the truth of it, right? People coming all telling about they been breaking a horse down to bay it. What the information they get that the horse that in bailing is the country money that you using to come bay a horse. What the information they have when the vice president, they keep all telling about the vice president was denied visa. We Liberians, we only hate good things. But every good thing that will come in our country, we hate it. The men went also talking to people to come strengthen our education system. It was all on Facebook. How the men went Nigeria bringing 6,000 teachers to come teach our brother and sister that will be all of, we don't speak on the fact. The government is trying in your 55 days. She is trying in her weak way to see how Liberia will be better. And Liberia can only be better by we Liberians. It don't do crazy. JFK been down from 1989 when the war entered in Liberia. From 1989, I know. JFK been down from 1989. It don't job we have 55 days will upgrade JFK. It don't job we have 55 days will upgrade JFK. You look at just we have 55 days JFK.
Yeah. Make it short.
Yeah.
So we got other people then.
Yes. When you look at John, we have 55 days in power. Down to JFK. He donated about medicine, hospital materials, and other stuff. It was online on Facebook. Now we all in the diaspora saw it. Right? We all in the diaspora saw it. To my own Liberian brother and sister that in America, let's try to work hand to hand to build our country. Let's leave sitting on the fence criticizing government. Liberia will only be built by we Liberians. But sitting as the sun criticizing the government will not develop Liberia. Let's rally around the government to help the government and build our country. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let me see. We got two more guests. Let's start with Stanley Thomas Sewan. Again, if you just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. We are discussing the first 55 days of President George Weah. Our guest has been Mr. Isaac Zawolo. He left early because of other engagements. So we are bringing out our other brother to air their view. Mr. Simon, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Yes, thank you, and it's a privilege to be on. I'm in a noisy area, so I don't know if you can get me on later on.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Think Radiance and let's connect to our other caller. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Well, I'm Joseph Cooper, calling from Philly, Pennsylvania.
Joseph, you say?
Yeah, Joseph.
Joseph, we can see your face, or we can only see your piece of your head.
You want to see my face?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Joseph, welcome to Focus on Liberia. Your thoughts?
Thank you very much for inviting me, and let me appreciate you for your time. And then, sorry I didn't start your program. I came on late, but I think I understood you to like you guys are greeting the first 55 days of this government.
Yeah, that's what we're discussing. How we guys doing?
All right. Saturday, I mean, it is very, very disheartening, especially so a government that preached change all through the time for 12 years, and with the number of support base that they had, and to see them performing from this so poor level that they're performing. Okay, so let's look at his first move when they were traveling to Senegal. That was very disingenuous on their part to give us conflicting information about the Senegalese government, facilitating trip to Senegal. That was information that wasn't true. This is coming from a government. Okay, that killed the trust that people have in you. All right, and then secondly, we saw then the brother that just left from the something that talked about medication. That medication was already donated. That was just a tail hinting that they just want to go pass it on. It was in their own cash. It wasn't something that from their side. They were only giving it to the hospital and taking credit for it. Okay, and then you look at the demolition process and looking at our situation right now. I mean, the Liberian people situation, and more especially so. This guy did not declare an asset, and he knew that had been in the corridor for so long. People crying this so that he can do it. It was just a poor move to going to work to start, break his property down, for a new, erection. That was just so poor. Okay, and he made people to start the skepticism to even grow. That indeed, and then let's look at the 6,000 teachers. All right, the 6,000 teacher, he did mention it when he was in Nigeria. He mentioned it. We are listening to the clip. All right, when he got back, the tone changed. But the point is that, if I were ask you a question, don't we have qualified teachers in Liberia? Qualified seasoned teachers?
He said we have them. He wanted technicians or people who would train those teachers.
My point is, don't we have technicians? You were in Liberia, you attended school, and we also professionals in Liberia. Don't we have them? Why do you think our education system is going to the drain? First thing, if you look at the compensation that is given to teachers, that alone gives them the exit door. So all the competent teachers are floating around in different area or sitting aside and doing nothing. The first move that you have to make, if there's a pro-poor government, you have to galvanize these veteran teachers and talk to them, listen to them, like he did with the rights, the group that sells the rights. Listen to them.
He said the minister of education advised him that there was a gap of 6,000 teachers.
That's what I'm saying. Like he didn't consult them. He went to Nigeria. And Nigeria, like us, Africa, they got a huge gap and big problem too. Even though theirs might be a little better now because they haven't been in war for a very long time. But I think that move also too very premature. Okay, and then the question I ask myself once is, I'm trying to separate that from the past regime. I'm trying to see a little a little, gap between that where probably a little better over the past regime. But it's so difficult to do. Okay, it's so difficult to do the first 55 days. If you can bear me witness, if we tend to dissect this particular government from the past, you will see probably it might even be below the past government when it comes to functioning. They might even be below. Okay, so this right now, there's a change agent that came to change things around. Okay.
So in your view, for the first 55 days, and Cooper Kwame was asking on Facebook, what should he be doing that he's not doing now?
First and foremost thing, all the things that it's simple. Like if I criticize you of something that you're not doing better, that is my that would be my case study, my how you call it, my stepping stone that I will use. All right, I'm coming to make things better. So take for example, if you are not developing the country developmentally or infrastructure, if you are not doing it, if I can't in place, those are things I'm trying to do to make the difference between you and myself, that you wasn't doing it and I'm doing it better than you did. Okay? Because we listen to all of the counts of the high against Ellen. Okay?
Right, but that's where the rubber meets the road. So it's easier to be outside and criticize. So since he's there now, what do you want him to do?
First and foremost, I want the government to operate from a plan-based government. Okay, do not just operate on thing because you just see something came up today and you do it. Operate from a plan-based something. I think it will give a whole meaning to that whole functionality. But from the way we see things going, this government does not have a plan. They are planning while they are already in the chair, and that is too late. You cannot plan like that. Okay, you cannot plan like that, and this is why they're storming their toes continuously. They continue to storm their toes because the plan isn't there. It's just coming after the day. As the day passes, plans are coming up. And it's difficult that way. Look at the budget. Look at the budget they just crafted. Just in 1 second. Look at the budget they just crafted. I mean, well-meaning person will sit there and be like, no. I mean, we cannot be over this budget that we complain about. We cannot be over it. I mean, we should operate within this same budget that she had, or we can go a little bit below. But what's the essence of going above it? So the change you talk about, is that a change for West or a change for improvement?
Maybe they are accounting for inflation. Things have changed. Prices have gone up.
You're so funny, man. All right, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate your program, man. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for what you expressed. Okay, and we still got a few more, and then we're going to be drawing down the curtains. I'm going to try you again, Francis Doe, to get you. This is 8:04. Our plan was to stop here, but let's see. My man Francis Doe really want to say something, but he's having some technical problems. So let's see, Francis. We're trying to add you again. I see that. Okay, Francis, we got you finally.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Toronto.
All right, Toronto, Canada. Your thoughts on the first 55 days of George Weah, the country giant?
I agree the government C+.
Okay. Why is that? Francis is giving the government C+, and Francis, can we hear from you more? This is focused on Liberia. We are discussing everything Liberia. Let me get Arvin Kofa Jr. all the way from Norway. Arvin Kofa Jr. from Norway. I'm trying to add you. Come on, we want our overseas callers. Veronica, you want to come back? You were just here, so I wanted to give other people a chance, but it's not working for them. All right, let's go back to Mrs. Grimes.
Well, Dennis, thank you again for accepting me. I just want to say thank you to the government, especially the aspect that has to do with education, especially for our government school, that they are trying to face that at least every child in Liberia will have equal education. If I don't have, I cannot afford sending my kids to J.J. Robert. At least I send my kids to Tommy High. The teachers that in Tommy High will be as equally qualified like the same teachers in J.J. Robert. So with that aspect that they are trying to put together that Mr. Zawolo just told us, I say thank you to them. And besides, I don't think there's anything in Liberia Constitution that said the first lady should be a Liberian. I have issue with people saying the first lady is a foreigner, a Jamaican. So what about that? She is a first lady. And we some people don't know the role of the first lady.
There's a process to go through for naturalization. I think that's what they are questioning.
Okay, if there's a process and she is a first lady, so what do they do? Do we have to repeatedly say she's a foreigner, she's an idiot, and we are in foreign country and we are being respected and we are recognized? Sometimes the people have the power that you are pointing finger at somebody and 16 or 5 of your fingers coming to yourself. She is a first lady. She did not bear to be a first lady. It's what God had in store for her. So we should not be repeating it over again. How do we feel if the American be calling us foreigner? We are Liberian. If I have the opportunity to be a first lady of America, I don't think they'll be singing a song over and again that she's a Liberian, so especially in a negative way. And besides that, the first lady of the country is responsible for the group of 72nd. Apparently, people don't know. Somebody say, why are they allocating budget for her? They're allocating budget for her because she has an office staff. She has an office that she needs to run. And she held in the group of 72nd. So again, I don't know how people feel with my opinion. 55 days is very short for people that expect money to drop from heaven. For people that expect miracle to be performed in Liberia, for joy we have to settle everything in 55 days. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me go back to maybe 1 or 2 more callers and we'll be drawing down the curtains. Again, if you are just joining us, this is Focus on Liberia. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. We are discussing the first 55 days of President George Weah. We have our callers also. We have callers on the line. I'm trying to add one more. And we have our colleagues on Facebook as well. Your comments should keep coming. Mr. Zawolo can, all right, we have a caller. We can get that caller. Francis, though, I'm coming to you for the last time from Toronto. I just want you to air your views and we'll be closing shortly. All right, Francis, just go ahead. Give the government a C. C+.
Yeah, I give the government C+ because the government is a new government. The party itself, the political party itself is a new party and is not yet established. So looking at the government performance,
I want to really thank all of you for joining. We have been discussing the first 55 days. And let me try one last caller, Jatu Siamoris. Jatu Siamoris, we're discussing Liberia. This is Focus on Liberia. We're discussing the first 55 days of the Weah Presidency. Mr. Isaac Zawolo, he's the... Okay, Jatu, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much.
Where are you calling from, Jatu?
I'm calling from Norway.
Oh, Norway. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. How is it there? Is it night or day?
It's night. It's very late here.
Oh, okay. Sometimes there's night throughout and sometimes there is day throughout. How are you coping with that kind of schedule?
It's very late now.
All right.
And yeah,
your thoughts?
And comparing these people, what I just want to add up is that it is sad. When I say it is sad seeing the budget, the payment. Their payment is so discouraging that if they continue this payment, I don't think we're going to develop our country. I don't think we're going to.
You mean the salary paying to the people, the salary?
Yeah, the salary. the salary given to the workers. If they continue, I thought that could be one of the thing they could fight for, to reduce their salaries. Because nobody is going to build Liberia for us or to develop Liberia for us. It's ourselves. But tell me, if they are paying 10%, let's say half of the country money, tell me how the other people will live. How the people, the people in the community that are not working, how are they going to live?
Right. The poor people.
No safe drinking water. No food. People are laboring to buy a cup of rice, while you are paying one person $15,000. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. And even now they even increase it. I was shocked when I saw it. Now I don't even have a word to say because of that. I think in the whole of West Africa, it's only Liberia they pay such amount. I was in Guinea for many years before coming to Norway. They don't in Guinea they pay 5,000 for a minister. 5 million is about 5 million is about 5 or 6,000 Norwegian krona a year. It's just a little money. But you look at Liberia, 15,000. That 15,000 they are paying 3 person in Guinea.
Right.
So it's sad.
All right.
And what I want, my recommendation to them is they should work on the salary.
Okay.
If President Weah is listening to me, tonight they should work on the salary of the workers. They cannot be taking such amount, then they expect Liberia to be better. And we are hoping for Liberia to be better. We all here, we want to go back home. But if they are continue to be playing like this in the morning, then in our words, so what are we going to do back home? We will just continue to be here as slaves, because we are here, we are almost like slaves.
Yeah.
We can, no place like home. So I don't have a lot to say. Next time, maybe I will come in.
Thank you so much for joining us from Norway. And we are on every Sunday at 6 o'clock. Please tune in and share the video. Thank you so much, and greet all our brothers and sisters in Norway.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to all our viewers. And I know my light situation got a little dim on because I'm already in studio, and then we couldn't fix that on the fly. Thank you, Mr. Thomas Gua, for making that comment. And my face is in the shadow, but we want to say thank you to all our friends who joined. Thank you to Mr. Zawolo who joined us, our guest. Thank you for all the contributions you've made, those on Facebook who are making their comments, and those who joined us. Want to say thank you so much. We here at Focus on Liberia want to say thank you to all our viewers across the world. On behalf of Focus on Liberia, our producer, Mrs. Yasendi Martin, our product engineer, Mrs. Stephanie Central, and also the host, Dennis Jha, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Good night. God bless you, and hope you tune in again. And we will close on this and play our national anthem. Not national anthem, our theme song. All right. So thank you so much for joining. Till next time, my name is Dennis Jha. I'm saying so long. God bless and good night.